It's always basketball season in Tucson, and we're going to talk a little bit about who could be where next year for the University of Arizona, and could there be a couple surprises along the way?
You are Locked On Wildcats, your daily podcast on the Arizona Wildcats. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I am your host, Mike Luke. This show is brought to you today by Nissan, the 2025 Nissan Armada. Stay with us for the Armada Team of the Week later in the episode. All right, now, this show is going to be completely dedicated to Arizona basketball and what the future holds for this program, what's going on next, what's going on with this squad, where do they stand, everything that you do need to know. Now, the first one that we're going to talk about is what is with this roster is the guys that could be back, the guys we think are going to be back, the up in the airs. We're going to talk about recruiting. We're going to talk about a possible Twin Tower lineup next year, a lot of different things. But the first one that I think we need to talk about, though, is let's just go position by position, and we're going to start at the point guard position. Now, again, all of this stuff is fluid. All of this stuff can change in a heartbeat. You know, we all know that. I'm not breaking any news here. The first one, though, that we need to talk about is Jaden Bradley. Now, with Jaden Bradley, he's the player that you expect to test the draft process, but I would expect him back. I don't know that he's an NBA player, but I love Jaden Bradley. I think he's really, really good. I think you can win a lot of basketball games with Jaden Bradley. And, you know, if you have somebody like Bradley, you also know, too, that he's just a good teammate. He's somebody that is easy for players to be around. Fan base likes him. The coaches love him as well. And if you can find somebody that the coaches love, the players love, and he's good for team chemistry, you want to hold on to him as long as possible. Jaden Bradley is that dude, very much like Jaden Bradley, and I would expect him back no matter who Arizona gets. And we're going to talk about some of those options. No matter who Arizona gets, I would still expect Arizona to have Jaden Bradley back. And that is a nice little building block for next year. Getting a fourth-year player, that is good. And like I said, he's good on both sides of the ball, too. That's the other thing. It's not like he's just some player that's just kind of out there doing his own thing or whatever. He is a good basketball player, and you win games with people like Jaden Bradley. So, again, I don't think that there's like I said, I expect him to test the waters, but at the end of the day, I expect Arizona to get him back because, again, you win games with people like Jaden Bradley. Now, obviously, Caleb Love will be moving on. I think he's going to have a chance at the NBA. We'll see. I think he could fit his way onto a roster. Fran Fraschilla said the exact same thing. So, and I like Fran. So, Fran, the man with the master plan, we're going to go with Fran on that one. The next one, too, that I think that we definitely need to talk about is where are we now with KJ Lewis? I expect KJ Lewis back. KJ Lewis to me is I think he's going to test the waters, and like I said, I expect him to test the waters. But at the same time, I think he's going to find out that he needs to come back. That you don't have to be a two and done. You don't just have to leave for no reason. There are times where you can just be like, you know what? I'm going to be a 3-year player. I'm going to be a 4-year player. I'm going to live the college life. And I think that's just something that you just got to go with. You're going to live the college life and have fun with it while you're doing it. I think that you're going to find out, too, that he could have a bigger role next year. The things that he struggles with, though, are things that you have to be able to have at the NBA level. You have to be able to shoot. Not only do you have to be able to shoot, you got to be able to handle the ball. And he can't really do either one of those very well. He does a lot of really good things, though. I mean, again, you watch him. He can play winning basketball. He can get rebounds. He can finish in the lane. Not only can he finish in the lane, I think that he can be I think he's going to be a big time player as far as that glue guy as well. And the shot, like I said, if you watch him in warmups, from warmups, you can also say that he is a. You can also say that he's a player that you watch him and you're like, okay, what can he do next? What can he get? What can he do next? And I think that's something that's going to be fascinating to see where he is and where he can really do. I look for him to come back, though. I think he's going to test the waters and he's going to find out that, you know what, you do have potential to possibly get in this league, but there's things that you still got to get better at. You showed some improvement. But what is the next case? Can you show that you can hit that three? Can you show that you can make plays off the bounce? Can you show that kind of next level ability? If you can show that next level ability, then you're going to be in good shape. Like I said, a lot of people think that well, if they declare for the draft, they're just going to do the normal stuff. They're just going to head off, and that doesn't need to be the case with KJ Lewis. I think that's that. I think he's going to find out that he's just probably not as wanted as maybe some people thought, but we will find out. I do expect him back, though. I think he will be playing in college, and so there's kind of that. We will see, though. He's a player, though, that I think he can continue to progress. Now, the next one is Carter Bryant. Carter Bryant is the biggest part of all this. Carter Bryant, I would love to get Carter Bryant back. Again, he's had some games where he hasn't played a ton, but you can tell just by watching it that he's just an NBA player. He's going to be a first-round pick. Not only is he going to be a first-round pick, he's going to be a player that you can easily see what he could do at the next level. And I think that's where we're kind of at with him. He is a really good shooter. He's long. He's really easy to see. Hopping in there, and you can just kind of watch him and say that he's going to be a big time player for a team. If he came back for his second year, he'd be huge. And not only that, I think that he's the kind of player that you watch him and you're like, man, what could you do though with another year? Now, you could say if you're a first round pick, you got to go. It's $2.5 million. I get all of that, but watching him, you can also just tell how young he is physically, facially. I think that you've got a lot to gain. Think you've got a lot to gain. He's got a lot to gain by coming back. He could get better off the dribble. That being said, I expect him to leave. But he could get better off the dribble, and not only could he get better off the dribble, he could also get continue to get better defensively and really kind of turn into an all-American player. He is again, he was blessed with a lot of stuff. He's the most talented player on the team, and he's a player that he's going to continue to get better. He continues to get better. You watch and you're like, you're like, okay, cool. What's the next step then? But I think he's going to probably be a top 20 pick. And because again, here's the thing, when you can shoot like that, and when you have that kind of body frame where you can block shots, you're going to be able to see a player that he's just really good, like I said. And I'd love to be able to get him back, but at the same time, he's a guy that I expect to go off to the NBA. But if you get him back, it's all systems go for the Wildcats. And when I say all systems go, I mean a team that is a preseason top 5 team in the country. That's how good they are, because there won't be many small forwards in the country that are going to be better than Carter Bryant. There won't be many pro prospects in the country that are going to be better than Carter Bryant. He is you get him back, and all of a sudden, I think you're kind of like, okay, all right, what's that next step then for the Wildcats? We will see. But like I said, I think that he's probably going to go pro. Now, there's another guy that we need to talk about that I don't know that he's going to go pro, but he's going to have some options, though. But first, we need to talk about the Nissan Armada. Nissan Armada Team of the week. Again, this is brought to you by our friends at the 2025 Nissan Armada. Each week, our Locked On College basketball experts are picking one team that stands apart. From top-seeded stars to the unexpected upsets, these guys showcase the strength and sheer power needed to push their team forward. Okay, this weekend's Armada and clear-cut team of the week is the Arkansas Razorbacks. Man, they were very, very good. Despite losing their first 5 SEC games, Coach Cal's Hogs fought their way through one of the most rugged conferences in basketball to not only make the tournament but knock off St. John's in the process. They accomplished this all without Boogie Flan for most of the SEC play. And again, that's where it is. When it comes to the Nissan Armada, they say go forth and conquer, and that's exactly what the Arkansas Razorbacks have done here. It's clear that our team of the week is out here ready to conquer the road and with confidence, just like you can in the all-new Nissan Armada or any Nissan's outstanding vehicles. Take the Nissan Armada Rogue or Pathfinder and go find your next big adventure. Shop nissanusa.com. Thanks for keeping it Locked On Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. Locked On, your team every day. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about a guy in the perimeter, Anthony Del Orso. Now listen, I have a soft spot for Anthony Del Orso. I think Anthony Del Orso is I think he's a useful basketball player if you look at it and what you need from him. He is he's never going to be a great defender. He's going to try hard, but he can shoot. And he can score a little bit. He's a little bit niftier than I think people give him credit for. The problem, though, with ADO is that, there's just going to be games where these aren't ADO games. And, like I said, he can do some stuff, but he's definitely limited in other regards. That's a part that I think you're like, okay, well, we'll find out. I'm at the point though where if he wants to come back as a seventh man, if he wants to come back as a seventh man, I'll do that. But at the same time, I also think that he's going to be I think he's going to be an interesting player though, because I would like to have him back, but I don't want him back. I don't want him back as a player who is expected to start and is expected to play 20 plus minutes. I just don't think he's good in that role. I don't think that role is what he's really all about. And honestly, I don't think that he should really want that role either. But if he wants a seventh man spot, then I think you're cool with it. That's kind of where I'm at with ADO. I like ADO, but it's going to be interesting to see what he does. But because I could see it either way, honestly, and it wouldn't really surprise me either way. So we'll find that one out. Now, up front, then this is where it gets fascinating up front with this squad. They are. This is a team that where that. There's some interesting aspects here. Henry Vasar, you need to get back. Henry played really, really, really good basketball this season. And again, I think he showed a level that I don't think anybody else thought that he had. I certainly didn't think that he had that. He's good. And when I say he's good, he can also do a variety of different things on the basketball court that make him an enticing player. He can dunk, he can shoot threes, but I also think that he's 1 year away from really being ready. I think that he is and when I say ready, being somebody that can be drafted in the first round. I don't believe right now that he's a first round draft pick. As a matter of fact, I don't think that he is a first round draft pick, but he's also somebody that, when you continue to look at him, when you continue to see his progression, you could see him being a top 15 player next year. Again, shooting the three, not only shooting the three, but also somebody that you continue to look at and you're like, what could that next level be for him? I also think we also think that it's also that this is a team. This is a player that, with another year, he could be he could also be a player that could could really change some things. And that's where I'm excited to see what he could do. We will find that one out. But I'm excited. He is I think he could be an All-American next year. I really do. I think that he could be the kind of player where you're like, man, you're looking at him in your 14 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks per game, something like that. I could easily see that. And if he's that, then he gets, I think we're kind of at the point too, where it's like, all right, what's that next level for you then? And I think that he's going to be good, though. I expect him back. Now, listen, I could see him testing the process, testing the waters, seeing what is out there. Could certainly see that, and I wouldn't blame him in the least for it. But could also see him also coming to there and saying, I'm going to be, I'm coming back. I'm going to be that guy. I think he's going to be that dude. Now, another guy that I think you're going to see there, and I could easily see him in a Twin Tower type lineup, is Mo Crevis. Now, Tommy Lloyd was telling anybody that would listen that Mo Crevis is going to be the Mo Crevis could have easily been the best player on this year's team. I don't know that I buy that, but at the same time, Mo is good and Mo is huge. That's the other thing that you got to factor in. Mo is massive. Mo is 7'2". Mo's got skills. The problem with Mo is that Mo's slow, but he had off-season surgery, obviously. And when you have off-season surgery, that's going to be something that is going to factor into everything. He also, again, so we'll see. But he's got a good touch around the basket. He's got a good feel for the game. And he can also shoot the ball. He wasn't really able to show that this year, but Mo can shoot the ball as well. And when you can shoot the ball, it gives you a variety of, different avenues to be able to explore. But Mo, I look for Mo to have a really, really nice year next year. Tommy Lloyd is huge on Mo, so we will see. We'll see exactly what how that's does transpire. But I'm a big I'm a Mo Crevis guy. If Tommy Lloyd's a Mo Crevis guy, because again, a lot of people weren't Henry Vasar guys. Looking at myself, and guess what? Henry Vasar turned out to be that dude. So. You just got to see. You just got to kind of take what it is and then go from there. But both those guys will be there. Now, Trey Townsend, I would expect Trey Townsend to. How do I put this? Trey Townsend is obviously moving on. So Trey Townsend is there. Trey Townsend is also the guy that He played well. He played well down the stretch. Tobe Awaka, I'd love to get Tobe Awaka back. And Tobe Awaka is a beast. He's a man that, like I said, he's got some limitations, but at the same time, those limitations aren't, they're not overbearing, and he can be a really good player. If he's back in a starting role or in like a 20-minute per game role, I'm fine with that. But again, Arizona's got to add players around him. You've got to get better than where, you've got to get better. You got to get a little bit more athletic. And, if you can do that, then I think that you're in a good spot with. him. I love Tobe Awaka though, and I think Arizona fans should be happy. Now, Emmanuel Steven, that's an interesting one. Emmanuel Steven is a guy that I like a lot. The way that he can run the court, the way that he can finish. I just hope that he stays true to the plan, because if he stays true to himself, I think Emmanuel Steven's going to be a problem for a lot of different teams out there, because Steven, again, can do a lot of different things. He can block shots. He can rebound. He can do a variety of different things, and he can run the court. You generally can't find guys that can run the court and do what he did. But sometimes guys also want to go on to the next level, and I get it. I don't know that he might not be here next year. I get it. But I'm also a fan of what he can do. I would love to get him back. I think he's 50-50, though. I don't really know that one. Now, everybody always wants to talk about the newcomer additions and who some of those players could be. But first, we need to talk about Supply House, my friends. Supply House. Woo-hoo. too. All right, here's the deal with Supply House. Get the supplies you need for the skilled trade. Supply House, whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with the complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 40,000 from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need. Now, you need help with your order. I'm a person that generally needs help with my order. Supply House offers help, experts, and industry-leading services. So you'll always talk to a real person. You're not going to talk to some electronic person. Join the Trade Master Program today at supplyhouse.org/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo SH5 for $5 off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Again, biggest thing that I always worry about when I know that I've got a good product is, am I going to be able to deal with somebody that's actually there? And with Supply House, you know that they will be there. Again, check it out, Supply House. Use code SHS for $5 off your first order. Shop supplyhouse.com for all your plumbing, HVAC, and electrical product needs. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I am your host, Mike Luke. All right, now let's talk a little bit about recruiting. Now, there's certain players. I've said this from day one. You've got to get Brayden Burries. Don't know how else to put it. You've got to get Brayden Burries. If you're only going to recruit a couple guys each year, you got to be able to get the ones that you target. And if you don't get Brayden Burries, like I've talked about before, you've got to have, in my opinion, you got to have a little bit of a roster overhaul, because that's just not good enough. You've got to be able to get him. You're not going to offer a ton of dudes. You got to be able to get the ones that you offer. It's that simple. It's that easy. Brayden Burries is that guy. You need a scorer, and you need somebody that will probably be in the league in a year or two. But guess what? In the meantime, he's in Arizona. So that's a big part of it. You need him. You need Brayden Burries too. You just need him. Period. Point blank. No other way to put it. Koa Pete, you'd love to get Koa Pete. I'll believe Koa Pete comes here when I see it. I've never that recruitment's always felt a little off to me. Well, both of them do a little bit. That I don't. In the grand scheme of things, I'm not sure that either one of them want to necessarily go to Arizona, because I think they would have pulled the trigger already, but who knows? Maybe they will. Like I said, I think you get one of the two. I don't think you get both, but you got to get Brayden Burries. If you turn down Elijah Arenas, you have got to get Brayden Burries, period, point blank. Now, I think a big thing too is Dwayne Aristod. I think with Dwayne Aristod, if he's fully ready to go, that's a great thing for Arizona. If he's fully ready to go, he can shoot the three. He's athletic. He's big. He fits right into what the U of A wants to do. Aristod would be a beast. To get for the University of Arizona. But you got to get, he's got to be healthy again. I think he had a foot injury. If he's healthy, I think he's going to play. But then you're going to have to hit the portal. That is one thing that Tommy Lloyd, I think, has done a very nice job of over the years. Now, I know that some people are snake bitten by some players, but overall, Umar Ballo, portal. Keyshawn Johnson, portal. Pella Larson, portal. I can keep going. He's done a very, very nice job in the transfer portal. And Tobe Awaka, portal. Now, again, he's missed on some, but you're going to miss on some. That's just the way it is. I'm not really breaking any news. You're going to miss on some players. It's just kind of the way it is. But he's done a very nice job, and we'll see how it does play out. But overall, I am a big fan of how he has approached the portal. So that's what I'm looking at. Now, listen, he's got to get better players. Like I said, this year's roster is flawed. And it probably isn't as talented as an Arizona roster should be, but it is what it is. He's shown that he can absolutely adjust to stuff, and I look for him to adjust here. I think that he's going to make a nice little adjustment, and if he does that, then I think that Arizona is going to be in pretty good shape. But either way, happy to have Tommy Lloyd. Also, big shout out to Sean Miller. I think Sean is a much better coach now than he was at U of A, and he did a lot of really good things at the U of A. But I think he's going to kill it at Texas. I think with the resources they have, with his recruiting, I think that Sean Miller is going to do an excellent job there. I think he gets the standard, of the job. And I think he's going to do a really good job. He turned Arizona into a two-coach school, and that is something that we should all be very thankful for because, again, that's something that I don't know that we can necessarily minimize. All right, on that note, though, we'll be back with you tomorrow talking Arizona basketball, maybe even a little bit of Arizona football and all of that. But on that note, very much appreciate you all making Locked On Wildcats your first listen of the day. I'm your host, Mike Luke. Bear down, back the A, and we will be back with you tomorrow. We will talk to you on the flip side.